Foreign languages were always an interesting thing for me, and learning even one of them makes me feel comfortable and excited about the new stuff I would learn. I'm currently learning 10 languages: English, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, French, German, Russian, Greek, Hindi, Mandarin Chinese, and Bulgarian is my native. However, have I planned something new for the future? Which languages would I start learning after mastering those I'm learning at the minute? The answer is not simple at all, considering that I'm a huge language learning lover and find every new language as a new adventure. For that reason, I'm presenting you top 5 languages I would learn in the future. All of them are based on my personal experiences, and I'm aware that you're going to be really surprised about my choices. So, stay till the end. Number 5. Indonesian. If I had to choose one language to start with next, it would probably be Indonesian. I've always been interested by how big and different is Indonesia from West world. Its traditions, culture and economic growth are convincing me to think about starting learning the language as well. As I mentioned, Indonesia is a big country not only by area but also by population, which is estimated to be roughly 300 million people, which make the country at the 4th place after India, China and US. Unlike many Asian languages, Indonesian doesn't have any tones, complicated grammar or difficult conjugations, which means it's one of the easiest Asian languages to learn. Now you're going to ask me, Indonesian? Does anybody speak Indonesian beyond Indonesia? Why do you complicate your life, mate? Well, I guess that there are many Indonesians living in the United States or in Asia, but what really draws me is the uniqueness of the country and the language as well. Indonesia is a huge, outstandingly diverse country with more than 17,000 islands, and its people have this natural warmth, especially when you start making a conversation in their language. In other words, Indonesian is such an approachable and culturally enriching language from a completely different world. Number 4. Japanese. This is going to be the most expected language, I guess. Considered as one of the most difficult languages to master, with 3 writing systems, SOV grammar and even a case system, Japanese isn't a joke at all. It's rather for people who have patience, ambition, or just strongly admire Japanese culture and traditions. I might be only the 3rd one. I've always seen Japan as a country which is basically impossible to copy. Incredibly beautiful clean streets, technology everywhere, disciplined society, and cities where the old traditions are untouchable. That makes me possess the question, how is it possible with that? What if I learn Japanese language and go to Japan, where English isn't widely used in fact? It's important to mention that Japanese is more a sign of ambition, determination, and respect toward Japanese people, traditions, and the whole picture around it. For me personally, this language represents exactly this: discipline, determination, and big respect. And I also should learn Japanese in order to impress girls in the art show, should I? Yes, Japanese writing system is very difficult for foreigners, but not only for them, but also for the native speakers. I've heard that young people there don't know kanji that much. This is actually the Chinese characters which were adapted to the Japanese language throughout centuries. So I shouldn't worry that much. Wish me good luck. Number 3. Thai. Yeah, this language is one of the longest alphabets in the world. To be honest, this language is getting more and more intriguing for me, and I'm seriously thinking about starting learning it in the near future. But why it's so interesting? So, Thai is actually a strange language for me. It's a mix between Hindi by sounding and Mandarin by tones. I guess that Thai has got 5 tones exactly as in Mandarin, and for me tones are such a difficult thing to master. Wish me good luck. However, I don't want to admit that Thai is the national and official language of Thailand, one of my favorite countries. Similar to its language, Thailand is a very interesting country. It's a constitutional monarchy, and at the same time is getting the mix between Indian and East Asian cultures, which is so exciting for me. And something more, Thailand seen through the West perspective is something quite tropical, rare and unique, knowing that was never colonized or conquered by European power. This Asian country actually is well known to be like a haven for travelers. In fact, most of the people I personally know are dreaming of going there to try its dishes, to see the traditional and modernized cities, and of course enjoy beaches as well. So what if one day I start speaking Thai at a decent level? Wouldn't it be even more interesting, and wouldn't it trigger a huge curiosity not only in people I know, but also in native speakers? Because in Europe, there aren't many people learning Thai. The answer is definitely going to be positive, and by speaking Thai, I think that I could open doors where only Thai speakers go in. Learning languages can be exciting and sometimes slow, but the most important thing is to enjoy the process. On my channel, you find valuable language learning tips, funny and relatable videos, and of course, real practice in each language which I'm learning. I'm not a fan of the boring academical way, so I decided to find out better methods which actually work. And if you are here, that means you're interested, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, so you're going to be one of the first to get notified about my new interesting videos. Thanks for supporting my work, and let's get on with the video. Number 2. Swedish. Don't worry, there are European languages here. This time we're going far north in Europe, namely to Sweden in the Swedish language. You might think that it's a random choice after all these Asian languages, but I've always been fascinated by Scandinavia. Similar to Thailand, Scandinavia is such a unique region with so much history and traditions, and I guess that people are very smart there. I first got interested in Swedish because of its sounds and letters. I mean those with cases and the circus above A, which actually transforms into O sound. Jag vill åka till Sverige. This is a language from the Germanic language group, which means it's related with German, just with a few unique sounds typical for the Nordic languages. I really love how they sound, by the way. One interesting fact, I started learning Swedish around 5 years ago because I was crazy about Sweden and Swedish language. I was making presentations like school projects, I was listening to Swedish music, I wanted to master the writing and so forth, but I couldn't because I had to concentrate in Spanish and English and in the other languages which I'm currently trying to level up. But I still can't say whether it's an easy or a difficult language, because for some people it's quite an easy language to master, but for others its sounds are very difficult. However, I guess that grammar must be rather similar to English, because I've heard that in Swedish there aren't conjugations like, let's say, Spanish or German, which is considerably easy. Number 1. Cantonese. Cantonese is an important language for me, but before clarifying why, I want to explain what's actually unique in this language. Cantonese is renowned to be one of the most difficult Chinese languages, with 9 tones in the traditional and 6 in the spoken language, which is exceptionally hard, especially when even a small error could change the entire word. On top of that, it's written by traditional Hanzi. Now, I know that many people will say, "Jesus Christ, man, you're crazy, how is it possible to learn all this?" Yeah, I'm a bit crazy, but that's not the main topic. In fact, one of my favorite movies and actors like Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee are from Hong Kong. Okay, I guess that Bruce Lee is American, but he's from Hong Kong. I forgot to mention that Cantonese is the official language of Hong Kong and the south province of Guangdong, where also is Guangzhou, the biggest agglomeration in the entire world. Not to mention that Hong Kong is one of my favorite cities and one of the eligible of mine for a potential movement abroad. In this case, Cantonese is an important language for me to learn, even though English stands as the second official language of Hong Kong. Also, learning another Chinese language could be really exciting for me, because this way I could go deeper in China's heritage and traditions. Of course, I'm aware that Mandarin is much more used and spoken than Cantonese, but for a Hong Kong lover like me, I think that it could be really valuable. So, why not? Well, these are the 5 languages which I'd learn in the future. Of course, there aren't more languages like Korean or Vietnamese, but that's in another video. I learn foreign languages not because I'm forced or because I wanna look intelligent. You are intelligent by only learning multiple languages anyway, but considering that I've got a huge interest toward different cultures and traditions. Also, by learning foreign language, you not only prove to locals, but to yourself that you're valuable, that you respect them and their cultures, so in return, they should respect you too. So now, let me ask you something. Which language do you want to start learning and why? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.